Hello, everyone. I'm Chan, the Trade Commissioner of MATRADE Paris. Welcome to the Meet the Experts France session under the Knowledge Hub MIHAS 2025. I'm honored to be your moderator for this session. At the end of today, we wish to give you a closer overview of the French and European market, as well as the opportunities, challenges, and experiences for market access. First, we are allowed to let me introduce Mr. Jasper Chada, UK Managing Director of Isla Delis, who is joining us as a premier buyer for MIHAS this year. Isla Delis stands as a European leader in halal processed meats and ready meals, with over 30 years experiences in stirring sustainable commercial growth across the United States, United Kingdom, Europe, and the Middle East. Mr. Chada will be sharing valuable insights with us today. Next, I would like to welcome Mr. Raymond Khoo, Head of Export at Kawan Food. Many in Malaysian audiences will already be familiar with Kawan Food, a leading Malaysia producer of frozen Asian delicacies such as prata, flatbread, pastries, and fingers food. So currently, they are exporting more than 40 over countries with an active footprint in the European markets. Mr. Raymond will be sharing their experiences, and I'm sure Malaysian exporters will find particularly relevant as they seek to expand in Europe. Finally, I'm pleased to introduce Ms. Noor Ji, our marketing officer here at MATRADE Paris. Since joining us in 2024, Noor Ji has contributed to our success at Sire Paris 2024, Paris Asia 2025, and during the recent trade and investment missions led by our Prime Minister to France. I believe she will be offering pragmatic advice on better interacting with buyers in the French and broader European markets. So without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Chada to share about more on Isla Delis. Hello, Mr. Chada. First,
Hi,
could you
good.
briefly introduce Isla
Sure.
Delis?
Yeah, I can do. Greetings, everyone. Pleasure to be on this call with everyone. Looking forward to MIHAS next week. So a bit about Isla Delis. It's a 100% halal food business, right? So it's a leading branded halal packaged food business. We specialize in chilled, frozen, and more recently into ambient halal products. Headquartered in Paris, in France. The business has been around since 1990. It operates now across multiple European countries and the UK, with annual sales around 200 million pounds. It's the largest halal food business in Europe and UK, right? And in terms of scale and benchmarking its market reach, it's by far the number one halal business in Europe. We have roughly 300 teammates across Europe. We have 2 factories of our own in the south of France. We co-manufacture a lot of products from Europe and more recently from the Far East as well. So that's part of our business model. So we're not just focused on making our own products. We're more than happy to procure products from any part of the world that fits our business model. And that's why I'm attending MIHAS next week. I'm looking forward to understanding the manufacturing and the expertise of the Malaysian manufacturing scene. So, and looking forward to seeing some products there. We have roughly 350 products in our portfolio between chilled and frozen and ambient. We have roughly 3,000 customers across Europe and the UK. And then some of these customers we've been together with up to 15, 20 years. So that's what Isla Delis is about. It's brand building. It's about building customer relationships, and it's about building supplier relationships. And that's what, that's how we've become a business of such scale.
Thank you so much for joining us as a premium buyer. We are very glad to
Pleasure.
host you. So, as an importer, what factors most influence your decisions to select Malaysia products for the European market?
Yeah, I think there's a number of things. Firstly, the number one factor is a very trusted halal accreditation, right? So we need to make sure that the factories we use, both the abattoirs, but also the factory processing factories, the products are 100% halal, and the accreditation is very rigorous and strong. I think the other factor for us is making sure that there's alignment with the EU regulatory standards. So making sure from a food safety, from a hygiene, from a labeling regulation, there's complete alignment with suppliers in Malaysia. I think the other thing we look to is innovation, right? So we are very, very hungry for innovation as a company, as a category in all parts of Europe. And so we're looking for companies that are rich in innovation, in R&D, but also investment in quality, right? So a lot of people spend a lot of money on developing new products, but we're also interested in how much money they're spending on developing the right quality of product, making sure it's food safe, the consumer satisfaction is really high, and ideally, what we're looking for is that perfect triangle between quality, price, and satisfaction. So if we can get that quality right, and then the price is attractive, then we have a great recipe for success. The other thing we're looking for is authenticity, right? So if we're going to buy products from Malaysia, they have to be authentic, and that's what's I think inspiring me for next week is looking forward to seeing some really authentic products. And Raymond, I'm a big fan of the rotis, and it's a personal favorite of mine. And I think the UK market particularly has a lot of parantas, but it doesn't have a Malaysian authentic product. So I'm looking forward to those kind of products. And then I think any supplier we deal with, they've got to be export ready, right? So they must have the infrastructure in their business to be able to supply a business of our size. So availability, making sure that we have the right infrastructure, the right supply chain, the right quality standards, making sure the products are delivered on time to the quality one. So it's about building long-term relationships. So that's just a few factors that influence my decision for any market I go into. So next week it'll be Malaysia, another time it'll be Indonesia. It doesn't matter. I think from a perspective of importing products into the European Union and into the UK, I think those are the key factors for me. One of halal certification, EU regulatory standards, commitment to R&D, authenticity, and having this export readiness that you are able to supply the UK market and the European market.
In your introduction just now, you are a very prominent halal F&B brand that sells a wide range of products, including charcuterie, fresh and
Yes,
frozen meats,
yes,
ready to
yes,
meat, ready to eat meals, savory
yeah.
snacks, and so on. Could you share with us how Malaysian halal certificate is regarded in Europe?
Well, I can tell you, I think the perception is mixed. I think there are many retailers who are now starting to sell uh, Malaysian food have a better understanding, right? So they understand that the Malaysian halal certification, especially JKIM, is now becoming more popular. They understand it's quite rigorous, but I think there needs to be a lot more investment in marketing the Malaysian halal certification and the capability. So there's a bit more work to be done with the buyers, particularly, I look at the UK buyers, and if I talk to them about Malaysian certification, I think I'll probably get a 50% response. So I think there's a lot the Malaysian business can do in terms of educating the UK buyers, and certainly their quality assurance things. Remember, the buying team is one thing, but also all the retailers have very big quality standards team. So having some sort of education literature, sending them more proactively, more information about how rigorous and how authentic the halal accreditation is, both in the processing side, but also in the slaughtering side of it, and giving them a bit more confidence on how strong this is. I think exhibiting at uh, expos like CL in Paris, Anuga, IFE, I think representation there will improve the knowledge and the awareness of Malaysian as a halal country, as a halal capability, and how important the JKIM accreditation is. I think that's the only way. Uh, as I said, it's a mixed response, but if you want to get to the 100%, there has to be more investment in terms of education. I think there's a great story. I know it. I know how rigorous JKIM is. I completely endorse it, but I'm not the buyer. So you have to persuade the buyer. So we can do a lot in terms of conveying that information. But I think sometimes the Malaysian business needs to also take charge of this, because they need to build their credibility, their awareness.
Okay, just now you were saying that you're a big fan of Kawan food. So I was thinking that which other Malaysian products are you most interested in sourcing besides that Kawan food?
Yeah. No, so now let me go back a step. Our business model in the UK is giving British Muslims what they want. This isn't about giving them curries and Pakistani food or samosas or spring rolls. What they want is modern food. Now, one of the biggest growth areas in the UK is you have KFC in Malaysia. So people are into that fast food chicken. Muslims in the UK account for 6% of the population, but they account for 20% of all meat consumption. Right, that's staggering. So these guys love their meat. So I think when you look at KFC, you look at Nando's, look at all these of QSR brands, there's a huge demand for fried chicken. So breaded chicken is one of the areas that I'm really, really interested in, whether it's nuggets or whether it's burgers or whether it's tenders. I think that whole selection of breaded chicken is something that to me is really, really attractive. So frozen, a value-added chicken is a huge growth area and underrepresented in the UK retail. So, I can tell you now, we've just very successfully managed to launch 10 new products in 100% distribution in Tesco's, because Tesco's understand that there's a gap in the market for value-added products for British Muslims. And that description is really important. These are Muslims who were born in Britain, are raised in Britain, so they have British habits. So they want as much British food as we can get. Whilst I love the Perontas, I think that's added to, can we do the flatbreads? Can we do Korean food? Can we do Malaysian food? So I think these guys are very much into global foods. But, can we give them fusion food? Can we give them breaded chicken? Can we give them nuggets? So broadly, that's the area I'm most interested in. And sausage is another one. So you can imagine flavor is really, really key to British Muslims and Asians generally. They love their flavor. So if I can find unique, innovative sauces that add flavor to protein, that's something that I'm really interested in as well.
Oh, that's a very interesting sharing. So one last question I would like you to ask you, because you know that our audiences are all Malaysian suppliers. So what
Yes.
advice would you offer to them for those who are hoping to expand into a European market, the European market?
Yeah. I think so once you pass we make great products, we make great products which are 100% halal. Once you get over those two fundamental orders, I think for the buyers in the UK want 100% supply, right? They want reliability. They want products. So quality of service is as important as quality of product. So it's really, really key that the quality is always, they rely on you for the 100% quality, but availability, making sure the products are delivered on time, in full, is really important for them. Clear documentation, making sure all the packaging, all the labeling is up to standard, because in my experience, a lot of work is done in developing products and not enough effort is put into, right, we need to start looking at making sure when the label is scanned in the Tesco warehouse, it's 100%. It doesn't get rejected. So having that supply chain and making sure everyone looks at all the fundamentals of making sure the supply chain is 100% relied on is really critical. And obviously, buyers in the UK are no different to buyers in Malaysia. They want the best quality, the best value, but the lowest price. So having conversations where it's long-term conversations. I think don't get into transactional conversations. Don't get into a quick promotion, understand where the category is going. Understand how can you help Tesco's grow the long-term category? And how are you going to invest in that category? So the buyer sees that you're not here just on a transactional basis, just because I want quick volume sales. This is about long-term category growth. Talk to them about, look, the category today is here. These are the consumers we are targeting. In 5 years' time, this is the size of the market. This is the opportunity. Talk to them in the language they understand and why they should be investing in a particular supplier. It's the supplier that gives the best products, the best category advice, gives insights, and gives differentiation are the ones that win.
Thank you, Mr. Chada, for sharing your experience. I think it's very
Sure.
beneficial for all of us.
My
So
pleasure.
next, I would like to invite Mr. Raymond Koo. Could you briefly introduce Kawan Food?
Thank you. Good day, everyone. Thank you for
Good evening.
having the opportunity for me to sharing. Okay, Kawan Food was founded by Mr. Gan in 1970. So he started with all the spring roll pastry, and now in 1997 he started to do the parathas, fully automated parathas line. That was he invented, and he is the world who actually Kawan is in the world who introduced frozen flat bread for the parathas and for the Muslim flat bread. Okay, so now we are, like just now TC was sharing that we are now 40 over countries. Number one was still in America. Number two will be still UK. We are doing about 200 plus containers to UK right now for like a partner with a private label. Okay, and the factory was built in 2018. We moved to a new 2018 with a bigger 12-acre land. So now we are located in Selangor with at Pulau Indah with a 12-acre land. And we have about 1,000 employees. And we are shipping a year of 1,200 containers throughout every year. And as definitely the Ramadan and fasting month will be our festive season. We are so busy the last quarter of this year, rushing for all the orders. Yeah, and we are BRC, so that's why we need BRC to supply and to get the guarantee of our quality of food to introduce to the world. Yeah. So basically, this is our introductions. Yeah.
It's very happy to see a successful companies, Malaysian companies doing so well. And of
Yep.
course,
Yeah.
I remember I saw your video with one of the KOL talking about the, they use your prata and then make it a croissant, they change
True.
it to croissant. It's like so creative. But yeah, would you like to share more about your current presence in France and European markets?
Currently in France, we have partners who actually to gather to all the business to all the Moroccans. So he actually called the paratha as M Seaman. So when all the Moroccans will take this track break, they will call it M Seaman. Same like Malaysia, we call it roti canai, right? So
Yes.
so that is why when we talk about a product, whether it's our Malaysia, we have so much of beauty products in Malaysia, but we need to find our audience outside Malaysia. Definitely, our product is together to our Muslim friends, yeah, and we want to have all our Muslim friends to enjoy our Malaysian food. So same thing. Like today, we have the satay. If we have a friends who do satay, we do need to promote how we call it, in over in Europe or in UK, in whole of the world. Yeah. So same thing like just now in France, we call it M Seaman. In UK, we call it Prata.
Yeah.
In this in Sri Lanka, maybe it's different name, correct? So definitely we need to find out the right name to sell the product. Malaysia do have this product to introduce to the world. Yeah, and the present right now, like second France, we do find a customer for Turkish. They only take care the customer from Turkey. So they also buying our Kawan pratas right now. Definitely, Kawan also have Oriental products like the spring roll pastry, the buns. So this one, we also try our level best. We are breakthrough in UK already. We have some of the supermarket like Wing Yip in UK who buy container loads every month for our prata, our pao, our mantau. So we also have another customer who import kawan into UK for all the Oriental supermarkets. Yeah, we do supply our spring roll pastry to people in UK and Romania to produce their spring roll with the meat, because Romania can produce meat. So I send the spring roll pastry to them, then they do the finished good. Yeah, this is currently in Europe. Definitely, we do have some business in Italy. We also have some business we just recently Dubai. We do have a new customer for Sweden for Gulf food. We follow with MATRADE.
Thank you.
Thank
What challenges have you encountered in Europe? That looking at you have wide range of products, so it's best of you share to our Malaysian exporters. And for both of these, those who have success to navigated those challenges and those that still remain ongoing, would you mind to share?
Well, yeah, definitely today we need to have a right partner. While ongoing, we still try to promote Malaysia products to introduce for example, I take UK. Mr. Chanda, sorry if I pronounce your name wrongly.
No, don't worry. Don't worry.
Yep. I need to find a right partner to understand the products. Like we can willing to work together and introduce what can we do, like our Malaysian pratas, for example, can wrap with something and introduce to the world. Definitely in Malaysia, we are halal, we are Jakim sacrifice. So that's why the most important thing is the right audience.
Yes.
Pricing wise, we can work very hard and try to close the gap to introduce the product to the consumer, to our audience, to the people that will like our food, and to try out new ideas of our items. This is most of our challenges.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Yeah,
for sharing.
yeah.
Yeah. And last question, what advice would you give to Malaysian suppliers who have yet to enter European market and but still planning to do so?
Well, definitely like MIHAS having like last year Dubai MIHAS was in Dubai. We managed to get our Turkey's buyer. Yeah, we have actually shipped out the first container to Dubai, to Turkey in this year. That customer visited MIHAS Dubai, right? So from us, we are trying our level best to if you ask me to advise to take any of chances that if you have any chances that MIHAS or MATRADE arranging any event, do support. Now, because if you support, if not call support lah, honestly, you need to present your product over there. Then at least MIHAS or MATRADE team can really show it to the people that what MIHAS have, what Malaysia have. You know, if not, you are alone. How can you sing and nobody can hear you? Even you shout, nobody hear you. With together with MIHAS, with MATRADE, then at least they can help you to shout also, so people can hear your voice. This is, I can say, we have to hold our hands together with our Malaysia MATRADE and find the partner, the right partner. Okay.
Thank you so much. I
Yeah.
think this is very holistic view and it's very good for sharing with our Malaysian companies who are willing to go to overseas. So
Yeah.
right now, I would like to invite our marketing officer to speak. Based on your experience engaging with both French and Malaysian companies, what advice would you like to give to Malaysian suppliers to strengthen their interactions with French importers?
So there are two very important pieces of advice I would like to share with Malaysian suppliers who wish to work with French and European importers. The first piece of advice is about how you present yourself to buyers, especially online. I would strongly recommend making sure you have a proper company website. Your website is often the very first impression a buyer will have of you, and it needs to communicate clearly that your company is serious and professional. The design should be clean, the navigation straightforward, and the information about your products easy to find and easy to understand, even for someone who has never heard of your company before. In addition to that, it's very important to use a professional email address that is linked to your company domain name. In France, business conversations happen a lot through email, and when a buyer receives a message from a professional company address, it immediately reassures them that you are a legitimate, established business with proper processes in place. Of course, we all understand that at the very early stage of a business, you might only have a simple Facebook page, or you might use a personal email address because you are perhaps still selling to a very local community. But when you make the decision to export and work with companies overseas, and especially in Europe, I would strongly advise adopting the professional standards that are widely recognized in the corporate world. These standards are understood, respected, and valued across cultures, and they do go a long way towards building credibility and trust with your potential partner. And the second piece of advice is about storytelling, the narrative behind your brand. Now, something I've observed is that many Malaysian business owners are very warm and hospitable. So they like to say, come, what do you need? We have everything and we can give you a good price. And that in itself is wonderful. But I've noticed that in Europe, what often makes a brand successful is not just the product itself, but the story that goes with it. Successful European brands usually take time to develop a brand narrative. They highlight values that are especially important in the European context. Things such as craftsmanship, sustainability, creativity, and innovation. And they use that narrative to build an emotional connection with their audience. For example, you may have noticed that when European companies pitch, they often begin with a short, well-made video that stirs emotions, tells their story in an engaging way, and explains which consumer pain points their product is solving. This immediately helps buyers see the unique values that the product brings to the market. That is why I would really encourage Malaysian entrepreneurs to take some time with your team to think about your own brand story. You can ask yourselves, what makes us unique? What values do we stand for? And what do we want European buyers to remember about us? Then translate that into engaging marketing tools. For instance, a branding video that tells your story in a compelling way, ideally also available in the language of the market you want to sell to. Please do remember that European buyers receive countless introductions from suppliers every single week. To catch their attention, you need to stand out in the first minute. A meaningful brand story and strong narrative will help you do exactly that. Thank you.
Thank you, No, for your enlightening overview. Yeah, we do agree with you. The storytelling is very important in this market. So I would like to proceed to the question and answer. Would you first, I would like to thank you to all the speakers. I would like to ask for MATRADE itself as a government agency. We know we can best support you, but perhaps we can start with Mr. Chada. As an importer, what do you think that MATRADE can support you?
I think it's the first experience I've had of MATRADE, right? And it's been a good one. I think where you can help is facilitate really targeted B2B meetings, distributor introductions, because you know the Malaysian landscape really well. We have no idea. So I think understanding what my needs are and then targeting, as you are doing now, is companies that I'm really interested in, distributors I'm really interested in. I think that's exactly the kind of job and role that you should fulfill. I think the other point that's really well made is these really compelling brand narratives. I think what brand owners can do and what you can do is help position Malaysian businesses better, Malaysian brands better, Malaysian products better, because they had lovely stories about them, lovely stories about them. And I think converting those lovely stories into really compelling, consumer-driven presentations is something that you can help with. The other thing is the competitor landscape, right? I think sharing what the competitor landscape is allows companies to then start focusing on where can they start playing, where can they win, where's the gap in the market. So I think all this it's the first time I've come across the government agency here, and I'm really liking what you guys are doing. And so I think more of the same, but ultimately it's this converting this not in Malaysia but to the European buyers. How can you get the European buyers hungry and excited and interested in all things Malaysia? It's a lovely destination for holidays, but you need to convert that into now food. It's a great industry that we can acquire lots of food ideas and food businesses. So yes, more of the distributor introduction, the B2B meetings, the retailer buyer connections. Sometimes we want to deliver directly to the retail chains in Malaysia. Those kind of introduction would be very helpful. So I think pretty much do what you're doing now, but do more. I think that's my advice is every country is in competition to get into Europe and into the UK. So Malaysia just has to increase its marketing.
Thank you
And
so
I
much.
do think,
Yeah.
I do think, and Raymond knows this, given the success he's having in the UK. I think Malaysian food is underrepresented in the UK. I genuinely think, because I think people, there's no reason why you can't create an amazing story around Malaysian food. And I'll give you a lovely story. My partner and I often go to a restaurant in just outside Euston Square. Every day, there's a queue of 30 to 40 people trying to get into the Malaysian restaurant. And they have now got a chain in all the hot spots in London. So I think it's food that British consumers want. It's food people want. But I think the education levels of Malaysian food is right now underleveraged. It's underleveraged. And I think that's where companies like Carbon Food, other companies, government agencies have to now take it on themselves to educate what Malaysian food is about. And it was interesting listening to Raymond. The diversity of food Malaysia has, I think it warrants the same level of space. And I'm sure Raymond's seen this. You have so much Polish food space. You have so much other cuisine food space. Yet Malaysian food is so underrepresented. It just makes you think, well, there's something not right. Someone's not doing their job right. So so I think it's a
We
huge,
don't have K-pop. We should have K-pop.
yeah. But
We don't
I
have
think they,
oppa. We have oppa, but the oppa is not working.
but I
Oppa
think,
all in Korea.
but the Malaysian the food buyers, we have a lot of dealings with the Tesco buyer, and he's a complete foodie,
Yes.
foodie. I think coming with a great story around Malaysian food would unlock opportunities,
Yeah.
almost certainly. Sorry, I went on a
So
bit there.
yeah, it's good. I've been hearing from you. Of course, we're thankful for the compliments. We're also very thankful for the feedback. I guess we have more to
It's
do.
well earned.
Yeah, we have much more to do. And of course, Mr. Raymond Kawanfood, I guess you will also work with us for more promotion. Yeah, I'm also thankful for you to come to France, Paris, in October to do the promotion as well. So by the end of today, I would like to thank you to all the speakers for joining us today and generously sharing your expertise, and your contribution are truly appreciated. I would also like to extend my gratitude to our valued audiences for following this session, and I trust you have found our speakers' insights both inspiring and informative. The halal market in Europe is expanding at an unprecedented pace, with a growing number of European importers turning into Malaysia. So attracted by our robust JAKIM halal certification, unwavering commitments to quality, and our supportive business environment, we very encourage Malaysian halal enterprise to pursue the opportunities emerging in Europe. So MATRADE Paris is dedicated to assisting you on your growth. And so please do not hesitate to contact us at Paris at matrade.gov.my. Should you have any queries and require further support, please contact us. Thank you once again for your participation. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Pleasure. Thank you.
And look
Thank
forward to seeing you
you.
next week at MIHAS.
See you all next week.
See you next week. Safe trip.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.